So if you watched my last video on cancer, you know what my diagnosis was. And I haven't done a video since because it was quite a process of having a double mastectomy and then recovering from that. So it takes about 6 weeks before you totally feel somewhat back to yourself. And I just want to share the experience. I have documented the whole entire journey. I'm not going to share it all in this video. I think, we've always been told to share the scars and not the wounds. And I think that as far as sharing some of those videos, it's a little too soon for me. But I wanted to let you know what happened since deciding to go ahead and have the double mastectomy. I started working with Dr. Shockley, who is in Colorado, and she does blood work. She's a doctor of cause. And I'm super excited that we did blood work before the cancer and after the cancer was removed. So this is kind of a different approach to cancer. I didn't just do the Western medicine approach. I kind of did both Eastern and Western. After being told that I wouldn't be able to have children by 6 specialists, I worked with a doctor, Dr. Varley, about 20 years ago and was able to get pregnant and have my daughter. Her name is Faith, and I have faith everywhere because I believed that I had to have faith to have faith. And you have to trust there is somebody out there that can help you. Even if you get a diagnosis with cancer, no matter where you are, go with your gut. If someone's telling you something, like when they told me I only needed 1 breast removed, it didn't feel right. I felt sick to my stomach. I felt like a double mastectomy was the right choice for me at the time, and I still do. Had I done some blood work ahead of time and met Dr. Shockley maybe sooner, I might have caught the cancer sooner before the mammogram caught it. And I'm doing this video to help other people that you get some basic blood work done, not what they do in Western medicine, but where they check your hair and your blood for heavy metals and what's going on, vitamin D, vitamin B, where do you stand in all of those levels in your body and what could be going on. But you need to find a doctor that knows how to read that, not just the standard blood work they do. It's a totally separate blood work. And yes, it's a little more expensive. Does your insurance cover it? Not always, but spending $1,000 to $2,000 figuring something out versus spending $100,000 and going through what I went through with the double mastectomy seems like a no-brainer to me if I had to do it all over again, which is why I'm sharing in this video. So I went ahead and had the double mastectomy. Recovery wasn't great. I went through a whole lot of emotions that I've recorded. When I first had the double mastectomy and I saw my body, I felt like this was a punishment and I wondered what I did wrong. And I realized now, being weeks out, that it wasn't a punishment. It was actually a gift. I've gone through all kinds of emotions, and it's barbaric, I'm not gonna lie. It's depressing, it's demeaning, it's humiliating, but it's also humbling and freeing, and it changes your outlook on life. And what is important, or what I thought was important, is no longer important. My family, my friends, my health is important. As a single mom and an entrepreneur, I didn't put my health first. I put what I was trying to do first. I was trying to make a difference in the world. And breast cancer didn't run in my family. So skipping my mammography didn't seem like a big deal because I wasn't gonna have cancer. But if I could go back and do it now, and I knew that this blood work would make a difference, I would have done that. When I had a baby, I didn't continue on that path. I just kind of stopped what I was doing. Life got busy and I didn't think it was important. I know now that it was important to stay the course that I did before, watching what I eat, not going out to eat constantly, eating processed foods. I know that wasn't good for me. I knew I wasn't feeling good, but I didn't have time, right? I didn't think I had time. That was my mindset. So your mindset about life makes a difference in what happens. I truly believe that cancer, especially this cancer, was from the stress, was from me not taking the time, not being balanced. I used to do something for me. I used to work out in the yard and be grounded, and I went from that to totally being focused on what I wanted to accomplish and not really having a balance. I was working 6 days a week. I was working on creating a business for myself, and I didn't make a whole lot of time for my friends and family. And I think that stress doesn't know where to go when you're not working out or doing yoga or doing something for yourself or your body, that it just accumulated, didn't know where to go, and it made a mess, and it happened to make it in my breast. I think that now. I think that I wasn't looking at the cause. I wasn't watching what I was eating. I wasn't watching my diet. I wasn't paying attention to the signs. I was losing hair. My nails were breaking. My gums were bleeding, which was not normal for me. And then I noticed the sign at my breast, and I saw a doctor. So, but had I not been looking and paying attention, I would have maybe not even noticed that or think it was a big deal, because when they teach you to do a breast exam, they teach you to look for lumps and bumps. They don't teach you to look for maybe some changes in your nipples if it's retracting. If you have a nipple that's retracting and it looks different than the other one, then you probably are having some issues and you should get that looked at. And sometimes mammogram doesn't pick it up. I might have had this on one of the mammograms that I had, but it wasn't until later that you could see it when it was bigger. So blood work makes a huge difference as long as you find a doctor that knows how to read that particular blood work. Dr. Kelly Shockley is who I'm going with. I would definitely recommend her. I live in Bourbonnais. I was working with Dr. Varley, and he was giving me herbs and acupuncture to get pregnant and stay pregnant. I had 8 miscarriages before I had my daughter. And could it have been all of those drugs that I did before I met Dr. Varley? And we cleaned all that out and I was able to get pregnant. But I took progesterone and Clomid, and I took that for maybe 8 years. I was on the pill before that. It's hard to say exactly what in my environment called it. Was it epigenetic? Was it my genetics? I don't know. I don't really know for sure what caused the cancer. All I know is that there's something that you can do to prevent that. And then there are things that you can do after the cancer. I'm lucky, and then I'm in a circle that has people that can help. I started to work with a physical therapist. His name is Jojo Sason, and they recommended not having massage. That didn't set right with me either. So I'm not having massage in the sense of the standard massage, but he's doing manipulation for the scars to make them heal better and to release the fascia. When I had this surgery, I couldn't lift my arms. I couldn't lift them up over my head. This is 6 weeks post-surgery, and I can lift my arms above my head. And that was because of the type of massage that he's doing to release the scar tissue and the fascia that you have in there. If you're following me, you know I talk about tongue-tied and the fascia there. We have fascia everywhere in our body, and we need to release that, because if we get scar tissue and it's tight and we're not doing the right things, then we may never have the full range of motion that we had before. I'm 6 weeks post-surgery, and I have more range of motion than I had before the surgery. And so I am super excited to share my experience and what has been happening. And this is just a little iceberg of what happened after I was diagnosed and what I went through. And you know, some of the videos I made, they're not pretty. They're an experience of what I was experiencing in the moment. And now that I'm out, I feel much better. I feel better than ever. I am a new, improved me, starting a new year in 2021, and just have a totally new outlook on life because of the cancer that I went through. So for me, it wasn't a punishment. It was a gift. And now I'm sharing what I learned and my experience with you, and getting products that don't have aluminum in them. When I did this blood work, I have high aluminum in my body, I have high mercury in my body, I have really low vitamin D, I had low protein. It's probably because I wasn't eating a lot of meat. And then when I found out I had the cancer, it was an estrogen positive cancer, and you're not supposed to have soy. Well, everything in my diet had soy. I was doing tofu smoothies in the morning, and almost everything I ate, it had some type of soy or soy lectin in it. Every product. So I have had to radically change not only my body, but my habits, my diet, the products I'm using. So in further videos, I'm going to be sharing things like that, products that I'm using, what lifestyle change I made, diet, because all of these things are important, and your mouth is really important to the health of your rest of your body. And bleeding gums was the sign that finally got me to do something, because I've been preaching this and I thought, okay, I know that I have a healthy mouth. Had I have not known the health of my mouth before I started getting kind of a consistent bleeding gums, I maybe would have ignored that sign as well. And so it's what I'm doing and what I've been preaching for the last year and a half that made me know that that bleeding gum sign was not something to mess with. And then I started looking at other things that were going on in my body. and that's when I found the breast cancer. So hopefully this video is helpful. I have way more to share when I'm ready and when I'm through this process of rebuilding. I decided to go ahead and have reconstruction, and today I had my first fill, which makes me feel a little bit more whole. I didn't think that it was going to bother me not having the breast, but it does. When I look down, I can see what the cancer has done to my body, and I don't feel like a victim. So I am a breast cancer champion, and now I am sharing my experience with you. Not a victim, not a survivor, but yeah, a gift. And I think that it all depends on how you look at things in life. And I have come out on the other end a better version of me, and now sharing that with you. So maybe my experience can help someone in either you or your family get through a diagnosis that could potentially be devastating, depending on your process, your outlook, and your way of going through it and finding the doctors that are right for you. I knew with all the miscarriages that I could find the right doctor. Same thing with this. I went through this and I found the right people that could support me and help me through this cancer journey. So if there's anything that I can do for you, click below, and I have a link that you can schedule a 15-minute consultation with me, even if it's just to talk you through this. I had so much support through this, but still felt like I was alone, and it's the most lonely experience you can ever go through, because you have to make the decisions for yourself that are right for you. Somebody can give you their opinions, but only you know what is right for you when you get a cancer diagnosis. You have so many choices. You can do nothing and say, I've lived a good life, I'll just go with what this cancer has. You can do what I did, where I got it cut out and then I went with some Eastern medicine. And I talked to women that I know that have gone through this, and I asked them 5 questions. What were you diagnosed with? How did it make you feel when you were diagnosed with it? What made you make the choices and decisions you made? What was the worst thing that happened when you were going through this? And what was the best thing that happened in your experience? And then what was your choice post-cancer? And how do you feel now? So I guess that was 7 questions. And I kind of kept a log of what different women told me and what they felt. And so I kind of knew what to look for, what not to look for. Or another question I asked, if you could do it differently, what would you change? Would you change anything? So that way I could help make an informed decision. And I probably talked to 20 different women and 3 different doctors before I made the choice of what I did. So, and I am just grateful for the experience, and I feel blessed for the people that I have around me and that were there on my team to care for me, because it's a team. You can't beat cancer alone. It takes a lot of people to help you through this journey. And so if I can be one of those people, or you would like a chat, just click the link below and sign up for some time with me. I'll be happy to help you through this journey.